What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Gakis, and today I am 373 light. A little bit behind because I spent a lot of time in the Desert Perpetual raid, which turns out to be not a good way to level up. So now I'm doing my night shifts in the Caldera mines. Regardless, as you can see, I already have a couple of juicy pieces of Tier 5 armor that I got all the way back at 350 light. And you know what? Tonight, I'm going to get some more Tier 5 pieces for my other characters. Why? Because they're guaranteed drops. That's right, we're going to be showcasing how you can get guaranteed Tier 5 loot drops at 350 light, which is significantly earlier than pretty much any other source in the game. And we're also going to be showing how that 350 light value will also open up some insane loot possibilities, including a literal loot cave for Tier 4s. And so, let's get started. Now, to understand why this all matters, let's quickly go over the important level thresholds that will increase the tiers of loot you will get. So, starting at level 10 all the way up to 200, you're mostly going to get tier 1s with a chance for tier 2s. And then from 200 to 300, you'll get tier 2s with a small chance for tier 3s. But at that 300 gear score mark, everything is going to change. First of all, it allows you to get Guardian rank 7. Guys, you want to be increasing your Guardian rank. That's also tied to loot tiers. For example, the only way to be able to focus tier 3 Phonotrea Feras at 801 for Arms Week is to be Guardian rank 7, which also requires a 300 gear score level. So, when you get to 300, someone turns on a faucet for the tier 3s. Pretty much every portal activity is going to be dropping nothing but tier 3s, and then you have a chance to get tier 4s all the way up to 400. When you get to 400, then you're getting constant tier 4s with a very small chance for tier 5s. And then when you actually get to the max gear score of 450, then someone turns on a faucet for tier 5s. As you can see, my good friend Defizzle here, this is what he gets after a Crucible match when he's 450. But here's the thing, I was talking to Defizzle and he also told me that the way you level completely changes at 400 to 450. You actually only have about a 5% chance to get one light higher than you are in terms of gear. And so the time it will take you to get from 400 to 450 is actually longer than the time it takes to get from 10 to 400. So, actually being able to guarantee tier 5s all the way down at 350 will literally save you hundreds of hours of grinding to that 450 mark. And again, it'll save you grinding those last 50 levels up to 400 before you can start really consistently getting tier 4s. So, this all involves an extremely important upgrade that you can get at Kepler. As you can see right here, when you reach that 350 mark, like literally the second you reach 350, head down to Caldera and interact with this object. And you can actually purchase an upgrade to increase the tiers of everything on Caldera by 1. So many people are completely ignoring this and just constantly leveling in the Caldera mines all the way to 400, thinking that's what they need to reach to start getting tier 4s. No, 350 is actually one of the most important thresholds in the game. Now, very importantly, and as you can see in the background gameplay, it actually doesn't count your possible gear score, it counts what you're literally wearing at the time. So you need to be wearing your highest stuff to actually be 350 at the time to buy this upgrade. You can see I switch gear and it doesn't let me buy it. But once you get it, it should be permanently unlocked and you may be able to switch into other builds that are lower than 350. But at this point, now your source of tier 5s is actually going to be those weekly missions. If you remember before, if you did the weekly story missions on Mythic difficulty, they actually guaranteed tier 4s for the first time you did them in a week. So when they had that gold like challenge indicator, the first time you beat it in a week, they would drop 1 tier higher than what they should, which was tier 3s at the time. But now this +1 affects them. So the weekly story missions will now give you guaranteed tier 5s, and it's better than that, guaranteed tier 5s that have always dropped at whatever I focus at Caldera. So you can actually pick exactly what you want to get, or an extremely high likelihood of what you want to get from Caldera, which is so good, guys. By the way, guys, quick warning, there's actually no locked loadout in these Mythic difficulty missions, so I was using more useful gear below 350, and then I would hot swap to a build that was 350 right when the mission ended to guarantee I got my reward while being at 350. I don't think you need to do this because you permanently unlock that upgrade, but I did it just to be safe, just letting you know. Anyways, like, there is no other way to guarantee tier 5 drops in the game at 350 light. Now, when you get to 400, if you go flawless in Trials of Osiris, that will guarantee tier 5 drops. So, good luck with that. Oh, and you can have a chance at tier 5s for doing a 5 feet Desert Perpetual raid, which means you got to put on the feat that puts you 40 light below. So have fun with contest mode Desert Perpetual all over again. Holy moly. So again, yes, Mythic difficulty for some people, for a lot of people actually, is pretty challenging, but compared to your other options, yeah, it's by far the easiest thing. Now, some tips for getting Mythic done. Guys, honestly, all you gotta do is play a Titan or have a Titan on your team that is using the Crest of Alpha Loopy chest piece. This will put a massive amount of healing for when you use your rally barricade and when you're damaging enemies from behind your rally barricade. Combine that with a god tier exotic primary weapon, the Outbreak Perfected, or the 3rd iteration, or the Braytech, whatever this one is I'm showing on screen right now that causes a bunch of ignitions. Any of those 3 from behind your Storm's Keep rally barricade with the Crest of the Alpha Loopy, guys, you will just take down, you will pick away at any of these Mythic difficulty bosses from immense safety, massive damage reduction, and healing. It's gonna make it significantly easier. Don't forget to also use your Matter Spark. It actually puts out constant blinding blasts, so you can cheese even bosses, but any sort of mini boss you come across, you can literally cheese it to death with Matter Spark. They can't attack you because you have 100% uptime on blind. So there's a ton of ways you can just slowly cheese your way through the Mythic difficulty story missions. Now, I will admit right now it's the hardest one ever, which is the final mission, the message, and you're actually going to be 70 light below for that one. So yeah, for that one, you might just want to wait until it rotates, but it's going to rotate in a couple of days, guys. Now, on top of that, again, when you get this 350 Kepler upgrade, the sources for everything on Kepler will change. And now what you can actually do is stuff like Sieve gives guaranteed tier 4s. The story missions, if you farm them, guaranteed tier 4s. And most importantly, random enemy drops seemingly guaranteed tier 4s. As you can see right here, I'm just fighting my way through random enemies on Kepler. I see an engram. It's actually coded as like a purple like engram, but when I pick it up, I get a tier 4. And so that means you can go to an area on Kepler with an extremely high density of ads and loot cave them for guaranteed tier 4 drops. Specifically, I wanted to head to the area that the message mission takes place, because like I just said, it actually puts you at -70. It's like the hardest mission in the game, and so all the enemies are yellow bars. Now, to get to where the message mission takes place, you simply drop down in the Kepler load zone and head through this portal as a Matter Spark. You'll actually see the flag to start the mission. You don't need to actually do that, you just continue forward because the enemies in this patrol zone are also at a 70 light disadvantage as well. Honestly, guys, the first group of enemies I came across seemingly constantly spawned. So I just farmed these for, honestly, just a couple minutes. Boom. What's that on the ground? Well, that's a blue engram, which means that is a tier 4 right there. And I just had the pulse rifle focus at the time, so I got the pulse rifle. Soon after, I got another tier 4 pulse rifle. So right here, guys, just go towards that message mission area. The first group of ads you come across, there's another group in this tunnel. If they do despawn, I kept pushing forward into this other room. There's a bunch of guys here. You can simply farm ads and they will consistently drop tier 4s, guys. Again, this is 10,000 times more consistent to get tier 4s than a random chance from farming portal activities. So this is actually crazy for just upgrading all your gear significantly and helping with, you know, your builds and getting everything ready to progress higher in level. So definitely, guys, 350, that is a massively important number to reach, and when you do, man, it turns on the faucet for high tier gear, but specifically on Kepler. Now, in terms of farming these ads, honestly, I was just using, again, what I recommended for the Mythic difficulty missions, sitting behind a Storm's Keep, barricade with the Crest of Alpha Lupi, constant healing, pick these guys away. You can definitely use stuff more meant for ad clearing, some of the incredible like grapple melee builds for the Hunter and stuff like that. Remember, you are just in a patrol zone, so you can constantly switch up your gear, switch up your builds, and kind of see what you're most effective with, and you only need to be at 200 light. Anything above is actually not necessary for the light level discrepancy because it puts you at a 70 light disadvantage no matter what. Guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.